Positive energy all the time. Good to see everyone. Hope y'all doing great. Yes, indeed. You know how we do. Let's get it going. You already know. Am I getting ready to start something? I don't know. Just came back from the Ethiopian restaurant about an hour ago. One of my daughters came to town, her and her boyfriend. That was cool to meet him. Had me some great Ethiopian food at Demira's on Broadway. I think they got the best Ethiopian food in the city. That's what I think. I think they have the best Ethiopian food in the city of Chicago. So if you're ever in Chicago, check out my Ethiopian brothers and sisters at Demira's, especially if you want a lot of good vegan dishes. So far, they have the most variety of vegetables. So check them out. 4801 North Broadway. I like them because they have the most variety of vegetables. I can get 10 different sides of vegetables. No other Ethiopian restaurant has that many sides. Got to meet with one of my daughters and her boyfriends. First time meeting them, it was cool. So I'm going to talk about politics. I'm going to try to behave myself. A lot of people don't like how blunt and honest I am. You're not supposed to be honest. We live in a world where you're supposed to be fake. And we live in a world full of followers. Young people, don't be a follower. Stand on your square, stand firm, and stand on business. Okay? Young people, make sure you do that. All right? Don't, don't let people sway you. You know what I'm saying? Stand on your square. Make sure you do that. Don't let nobody You know. Sway you. You know. Change on your own. Now you can listen to various opinions. Now the first thing is you're gonna have people tell you, don't deal with politicians. Now let me tell you something. That makes no sense. Because whether you deal with politicians or not, they're going to still affect your life. So the idea not to deal with politics, even though politics is going to deal with you, that's not going to get it. And so I give you examples. Let's say I don't vote at all. Somebody's still going to win, right? And then what they going to do? They're going to do what they want to do. And me not voting is not going to stop that, right? Let's just keep it real. Because you always hear people say, don't vote, don't vote. It don't make no difference. If 9 people vote and one person get 5 votes, another one get 4, the one with 5 votes is going to win, even if they only get 5 votes. It's not based on who vote. It's based on who get the most votes. And whoever get the most votes is still going to affect your life. And so the idea that you could get around your life being affected is a fake idea. It's fake. Let's just keep it real. It's fake. Whoever gets in there gonna make laws and you're gonna have to abide by it, whether you voted or not. Am I right or am I wrong? Is there any way you can avoid the politicians deciding your life? Is there any way you can avoid that? Because maybe y'all know something I don't know. Is there any way you can avoid them altering your life as far as with the government? Your taxes and laws? Is there any way you can avoid that? They might be evil and all that, but is there any way you can avoid it? If so, tell me how. I'm anxious to hear how. There's no off the grid. There is no off the grid. Doesn't exist. Don't let nobody tell you about being off. There's no off the grid. Nowhere in this world. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. No such thing. It doesn't exist. Young people, you listen to me. Don't get out here and find out the hard way. There is no such thing as off the grid. No such thing. Do y'all know what the grid is? Does anybody know what the grid is? Does anybody know what the grid is? You ever know they say off the grid, but they never tell you what the grid is? You ever notice that? Y'all listen to Pharaoh. I ain't gonna tell you no lies. Yeah, there's no off the grid. Don't y'all believe that? There is nowhere on this earth where you could get off the grid. It's impossible. It's make believe. Been there, tried to get. Why you think came back to the United States? That was the idea to get off the grid. Till I found out what the grid was. Till I got out in the middle of nowhere up on the volcano and find out what a grid is. I'm going to show you what the grid is. Okay? You don't learn, you ain't gonna learn this nowhere but here. Because they don't know what they're talking about. They never try to get off of it. Everybody talk about off the grid. They ain't off no grid. This is the grid. You see those lines? That's the grid. That's the grid. How you gonna get off the grid? The grid is longitude and latitude. Facts. Did they tell you that the grid? Did they tell you that the grid is longitude and latitude? That is the grid. What is a grid? A grid is a bunch of lines, right? Right? What's a grid? A grid is a bunch of lines that like make out a map. This is the grid. It's the grid. It's more lines to it than that. These are just the basic lines, but there's lines all between this line. This whole thing is a whole bunch of lines. That's the grid. And all of that is owned. That is all owned. All of that is owned. You think I'm lying? Pick a spot and go. Now, you might be there for a few years, but somebody's going to show up. And they're going to say, what you doing here? And they're going to say, this land is off limits. Or they're going to say, this land is, oh, so-and-so own this. So-and-so own this. Yes, so-and-so own this. What is you doing here? What are you doing here? This is off limits, or this is on. You're trespassing. Yeah, you're trespassing. I challenge anybody to show me anywhere on this earth where you could go and you won't be trespassing. I'd like to see that. Where? Where you can go where you ain't trespassing? The ocean? They own the ocean. They own every square mile of the ocean is owned. And you have to have special permission to sail them seas. You just can't get and put your boat out there. You know that, right? You just can't get in a plane and fly around. You got to make arrangements if you want to fly, because they own the airspace too. Y'all heard of airspace? So maybe one day I'll talk about that in specific. But there ain't no off the grid. They lying. Ain't no off the grid, bro. Yep. Don't exist. Think about it, G-Rock. Where you was going to go? Just think about it. You a businessman. Where you was going to go? Think about it. You was going to go inside of one of these lines, and all of these squares is owned. Every square here is owned. Why you think they got a picture of the squares? Listen, y'all. Why does this picture exist? They letting you know. Why y'all? What does this picture mean? This is showing you every little area. And you trust me, any square you punch on is something. And it's owned. And some of these squares, if you fly over them, you're going to get shot out the air. Because you can't just fly. You know you just can't fly. The last time I flew to Arizona, like we took off, right? On my soul. I'm in Chicago. We take off in Chicago, right? And as soon as the plane got in the air and you looked out there, you didn't see nothing. You only seen the buildings in Chicago for a few minutes. And then you can't recognize nothing. If you think I'm lying, next time you get on the plane, everybody like this, look out your window, get a window seat. And I bet you won't recognize nothing. Somebody that been looking out the window, would you tell them? You're not going to recognize nothing. They're not going to fly over no city. They're not going to fly over no water you can recognize or nothing. They be flying. When you look out both windows, it's unrecognizable territory. Unrecognizable. You don't know where you at. Somebody been flying a lot, but y'all tell them you cannot look out that window and know where you at. And then when it got to, man, listen, when it got to like the airport in Arizona, it curved, and then you could see the city. But you can't see nothing. You couldn't see nothing until you got close enough to get ready to land. And then it turns into where the people live at, and then it lands. You don't see nothing recognizable until like 5 or 10 minutes before you land. Y'all don't, hey, and guess what? Everybody on the plane doing what? Looking like this. I was the only one looking out the window. And I'm looking out the window and I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? You can't tell where you at and you can't see nothing. And if it's top secret, you know what they do? If this is top secret, you know what they do? They fly right like this, right? So if you're right here, you look out the right, what you gonna see? Nothing. If you look out the left, what you gonna see? Nothing. They're not gonna fly over here where you can see this. Oh no, they're gonna fly right over top of it. Facts. They're gonna fly right over top of it directly at an altitude where you can't see nothing because it's under the plane. On my soul, you ain't gonna see nothing. Nothing. And everything you see is owned. Facts. I was in the mountains in the middle of nowhere. And you'll be in the middle of nowhere. I was on the big island on the volcano up there, up by Kilauea, like right by Kilauea. Then Mauna Loa, the other volcano over there. You up there in the middle of nowhere in the rainforest. And you'll hear a truck come down the dirt road. And when you go up there, you know what's there? Surveyors. Surveyors are everywhere. And they be with that thing that hang down to show the latitude and longitude. And they know, and they be knowing exactly where they at. They could find you an acre in the middle of nowhere and say, this your acre right here. Man, they can go up in a mountain where it's nothing and sell you an acre. And can measure that acre off. It can tell you exactly where that acre is on the globe. Oh my soul. And if they want to, they can drop a bomb right on that acre with precision. You could be the only one up there and they could blow you up. Oh my soul. That's why I came back. That's why I didn't go to Africa. When I learned that, when I got out on the big island of Hawaii, out in the middle of the South Pacific, you gotta understand. Hawaii is the middle of nowhere, literally and figuratively. There is no other place in the world surrounded with a circumference of water like that. It is the most isolated place in the world. Look it up. Every other island is close to something. Hawaii is the place most surrounded by water. It's in the middle of the ocean by itself. Ain't no other island but the Hawaiian Islands, and it ain't nothing else. Japan way over there, United States way over there. And you just out there. And it's just water. And if that water want to, it could come and wash everything off of all them islands. If that ocean want to, it could rise up into the sky and hit all them islands. And when the wave go back, it won't be nothing there. It could pull everything into the ocean. Everything will be in the bottom of the ocean. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's a little scary looking at all that water and ain't no land nowhere. It ain't no land. It's like, I got to get the hell off. What am I doing? But back to what we was talking about. I'll be honest. And so we're talking about politics. Now, you see the debacle in Minneapolis, right? And you know that this guy is connected to all them scams and all them illegal Africans. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at that situation, I was campaigning for Harris because I wanted to break grounds for women. So I wasn't on no political stuff, but that's way over people's head. That was flying over people's head. They kept talking to me about Harris politically. I kept saying I ain't voting for her politically. I'm voting for it for a woman, historically for a woman. I didn't care nothing about the politics. That was over people's head. But the reason it was over their head because they believe in politics and I don't. So I didn't believe in politics. So I just wanted something historical for my daughter. I kept saying, no, I'm voting for Harris so my daughters could see a woman in there so I could use it personally to motivate my daughters. Right over people's head. Nobody, not one person said that's deep. Not one person understood what I was saying. They all kept saying, but politically this is politically. I kept saying, no, I'm not voting for it politically. I'm voting for it personally to use it to motivate my children. Right over their head. Even though I told them I didn't use Barack Obama politically. I used Barack Obama to encourage my kids to go to school and get a good grades. I used it personally. I hung this picture, I hung that first black family in my children's room. That's why none of my children gangbang. None of my children be going to jail. All my children are successful. I used the Obama success, not the politics. I used it for my own personal parenting skill to say, look, you could be whatever you want to be. That's how I used it. Now, I guaranteed you're going to have some slow person going to still come say something political. Give them a minute. They're going to come in the chat. They're going, Obama didn't do this. Bro, I just said I didn't use him to do nothing. Slow, right? Slow. So I use the political people for motivation. I don't use them for politics. So I was using Harris for my daughters. I got 3 daughters and I got granddaughters. So I was using it for them. So I could have hung her up and say, see girls, y'all could do everything. You know what I'm saying? That went over people's head. But nevertheless, I voted for her. And if she would have got in there, this guy would have got in there. And that would have been a disaster, right? But then on the other hand, you got Trump, and he's a disaster. On one hand, you got her. She's probably going to do some good things, but you got this crook, I believe, possibly there with her. And then you're going to put Trump in there. He's going to do some good things, but he's obviously a crook, selling debt credit cards, and he is using the White House for personal business, and he's releasing products. He's a grifted president, right? And so most people, if they would have voted for Harris, they wouldn't want to come and say that it would have been a disaster. Now, the thing is, I got a way out is I would have voted for Harris, who going to do some good and some bad. I would, and I didn't vote for Trump, who do some good and bad, but he's throwing out the migrants. And I'm looking at her like she wouldn't have threw out the migrants. So, as an honest person, at this point, I'm kind of glad he won more than her to get them Somalians and Asians and all these illegal people out of here, all these Venezuelans. On the other hand, I don't know what else he's going to do that's going to be bad for me. And so I don't know if him putting out the migrants and what he might do to foundational Black Americans haven't happened yet. So I can't weigh out him. So people jumping the gun, especially foundational Black Americans or whatever kind of Black you call yourself, you jumping the gun because he could stab you in the back. So that's something we got to wait and see. You understand? So even though I like he throwing out the migrants, what else is he going to do? Is he going to turn back around and bite me? And this is what a lot of people don't want to admit about politics, that you roll in the dice. You roll in the dice. When you pick a politician, you roll in the dice. When you don't pick a politician, you roll in the dice. No matter what, the dice is rolling. So when you hear people say, don't vote, they roll in the dice. Because if you don't vote, you still rolling the dice. Somebody's still going to be in there. So when you talk about don't vote, as if you don't vote, nobody will get in there, that's stupid. Because at the end of the day, whether you vote or not, somebody's going to be president. Now, let's say you don't vote. And let's say this one is horrible and this one is bad. You'd rather have the bad than the horrible. Let's say you don't vote and a lot of people vote for the horrible one. And then you get burned. But let's say you do vote and you don't know which one is the horrible and you voted and it's the damn horrible one. See, nobody wants to talk about this. Because somebody came and said, don't trust politicians. Don't matter if you don't trust them. They still going to get in there. They still going to get in there. At the end of the day, you don't have to trust them for them to be the president. Whoever get the most votes wins. So this political thing is heavy because you got to try to figure out how you can maneuver considering somebody going to be the president regardless. And this is what a lot of young Black people don't understand. All that you're not going to vote don't make no difference. So you talking about you're not going to vote, like if you don't vote, somebody's still going to be the president. So no voting ain't doing you just a sitting duck anyway. You didn't even try to pick something better for yourself. You just sat there and let whatever happen, happen. That don't seem like, I could see you not voting, but don't say it like you actually doing something, like that's some type of beneficial move. That's not no type of, not voting is not no, the only way not voting would be good is if they didn't get so many votes, neither one of them could be president, then not voting would be great. Like, don't vote, y'all, so neither one of them win. But if somebody gonna win anyway, you ain't doing nothing. What are you doing by not voting? When you don't vote, you still voted for whoever won, right? If we both need 10 votes, he get 10 votes, and he get 5 votes, and he win. Now, if you didn't vote at all to help this person win, you help that person win when you don't vote. Not voting is still a vote because not voting allows somebody to get the most votes. So you just voted negative. You didn't vote positive, you voted negative. But when you don't vote, it still the effect because somebody gonna win, and your non-vote helped whoever won. Whoever won, if you didn't vote, that's who you voted for. Do that make sense? If I don't vote and this person wins, I helped them win, didn't I? Because if I would have tried to vote against them, they wouldn't have won. Right? But because I didn't have no resistance and they got the most votes, they won. And if I didn't vote for the other person, I helped whoever's the winner. When you don't vote, you basically voted for whoever won. Think about it. Because the only way that person wouldn't have won is if you would have voted against them. And you didn't vote at all. So whoever won, you put him in there. You didn't try to stop him. You know what I'm saying? Am I tripping? That shows how deep politics is. Because somebody going to win whether you vote or not. So when you see people talking about, man, don't vote. It's a waste of time to vote. It's a waste of time not to vote too. They be talking like that really does something when you don't vote. That don't do nothing. What that do? That is not a political move or any type of move, not voting. Not voting is just accepting whoever wins. See what I'm saying? If you don't vote, you accept whoever wins. A lot of times I don't vote. And then whoever wins, I got to take it. What can I say, right? Can I not vote and then complain about the winner? No. I can't say nothing. So if I don't vote and somebody get in there and want to do something crazy to me and overtax me and all that, I'm gonna be like, damn, I should have voted for the other person, man. I didn't know this nigga was gonna get in here and do all this. If I would have known you was gonna do me dirty, I would have definitely voted for the other person. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I dropped the ball on that one. I didn't know this fool was gonna get in here and do me like that, bro. Why you didn't tell me you was gonna get in there and do me dirty so I could have voted against you? What the hell? What the helly? Why you didn't tell me you was gonna do me extra dirty with mild sauce? So I could have made sure you don't tried to make sure you don't get, at least I could have tried to stop you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't vote. Imagine, hey, like let's say in the city, imagine it's a mayoral race, right? And you don't vote. You got a nice house and stuff. And then somebody win. And then 3 weeks later he say, he doubling your property taxes. Boy, you'll be mad as hell. You ain't gonna be mad. You didn't vote. You got this person and this person. So this person win. Then he get in there and say, I'm a double your property tax. You be like, damn, I should have voted for the other person. Oh my God, I just sat here and let this man take my house. I can't pay that. I'm finna lose my house, man. Think about it. So it's like when we if we don't vote, we roll in the dice. If we vote, we roll in the dice. Am I lying? If you don't vote, you roll in the dice. Because big fool might get in there and just really And it's like people so phony, they just keep on riding. You know, like I voted for Brandon Johnson. And he got in there, don't know what the hell he doing. And then people telling me I should have voted for him. Bro, it ain't no way we knew he was that stupid, bro. We didn't, how the hell we know he was that stupid? You know, y'all stop blaming the voters because they put somebody in there that be stupider than they knew. That ain't the voters' fault. The voters don't know. The voters don't know you stupid like that. I could see if we knew he was stupid. Then you could be like, you voted for him. But man, we didn't know. They get up there, they be smart as hell when they be campaigning. They be like, I'm smart as hell. I'm going to do everything right. You're like, cool. You vote on them. Am I lying? Especially when they ain't been in the office before. Brandon came out the Board of Education. We didn't know he was slow. We didn't know he was slow until after he was mayor like 2 months and he was standing there looking like this. We say, oh, hell no. You know, you know what I'm saying? Now you want to hate on me because I voted for him and found out he was slow. I found out he was slow. You mad at me? I ain't know he was slow. You trying to act like he was looking like this and I voted for him. No, when I voted for him, he was like this. And then after I voted for him, then he was dude, when I voted for you, you was on it. Now that I voted for you, up there, oh, dude, bro. Why you didn't act stupid in the first place? So he act like he had some sense, and then want to get mad at me because dude is slow, knowing damn well we didn't know he was slow. That's like Trump get in there and do something crazy. Why would I blame Trump supporters? Y'all don't know he gonna do nothing super crazy, right? Be honest. If Trump do something just super duper messed up, did the Trump supporters know he was gonna do that? No. They didn't know he was gonna do that. So what it look like I'm saying, see, y'all shouldn't have voted for Trump. Bro, we didn't know he was going to do all that. That's where American voters got to stop doing that. You got to stop letting the politicians trick the voters and then blaming the voters when the voters was tricked. Am I lying? The politicians trick the voters. The voters vote for this politician. That politician go in there and do something super crazy. And then we try to take it out on the voters, knowing the voters was tricked. Ain't no way Republican farmers voted for Trump to chase all their workers out and make them lose all their raspberries and tomatoes. They didn't know he was going to do that. So it's not fair for me to just hate on Trump support. This is why America is going to go down. Because you letting these politicians lie to their constituents and you blaming the constituents instead of blaming the politicians. You're supposed to tell Trump, man, you told your supporters you was going to do this and you did not do it. And we supposed to stand with his supporters if he doing stuff that go against his supporters. Instead, you get so stuck on supporting him that he go do something stupid and you be like, go Trump. Knowing what he just did was stupid. You gotta try to act like it's the Lakers versus Steph Curry in them. You know, it's Golden State versus the Lakers. You got that same weird act like sports. You know, no man, I voted for Trump. Let's go Trump no matter what. It's like, bro, no, it's not. You know what I'm saying? No, it's not. So I got mixed emotions because when he started throwing out all these bootleg con artists from all over the world and Trinitarian Venezuelan gangs and all that, I'm like, okay, maybe it's good she didn't win. I'm like, she probably would have let him stay. Right? So it's go Trump, throw him out. But then Trump might throw him out and then turn around and do something dirty. I got to weigh it out. Let me see. I don't know. We don't know what he going to do it. I tell you, man, eventually, what I'm saying, the American public going to pick up on it. Man, the American public eventually going to be like, you know what? Both of these sides is playing with us. They playing both ends against the middle. Eventually, the politicians going to wake up to the fact that the public didn't woke up. The public is going to wake up and see they running a flim-flam. They got you cheerleading for this one, but then when he get in there, I don't tell him what the hell he going to do. They got you cheering for this one, and they get in there, and they don't tell them what they got to do. It's like this. You got 100% of stuff that absolutely going to be done. The person running out of Democrats said they're going to do 50%, this 50%. And the person that's Republican said they're going to do that 50%. Nobody gonna do the 100% of what we need. So either way it go, we don't get the job done. Because both sides only gonna do 50%. This side gonna do 50%. That's it. This side gonna do 50%. So no matter who in office, it's still 50% worth of stuff that's trash and garbage that don't get done. And then you cheer for the 50% of stuff that this one did, but this other 50% ain't no good. So you cheer for Trump while you lose your farm, that kind of stuff. You're like, yeah, go Trump. Next thing you know, your farm for sale and J.D. Vance buys it. Because they didn't put J.D. Vance is in the position to buy all the farmland that the farmer's about to lose. Just like they run the gang, told they finna give aid to the farmers. They say finna get a farmer's aid. You know what farm aid gonna do when you already in debt and all your workers gone? You know what you want me to tell you what the farm aid finna do, Trump finna do? It's gonna make them sell quicker. They're gonna get that money and they're gonna say, should I reinvest this money and lose it, honey, or should we just quit and keep this money and live? And they're gonna be like, we should quit. Them farmers gonna take that aid money and sell them farms and retire. And Trump's rich friends gonna buy all that farmland. Watch. That aid package you talking about, giving the farmers, that ain't no aid package. That's a retirement. Hey, that farm aid package is a retirement checks. If you was a farmer and your farm kept going bad and he gave you some money to get it running again, would you get it running again or would you keep that money retired? If you was a farmer and the U.S. government right now gave you a big check and you already in the hole and you got to take some of the check they give you to pay to get out the hole, you could take your money Trump give you and pay to get out the hole and have some money and try it again, which you might flop. Or you could say, I'm not paying y'all shit, right? File for bankruptcy and keep all that cash and retire. Me, if Trump gave me some farm money right now, I'm retired. I'm not going to invest that again. What up, Tank? Tank, if Trump gave you a big check right now, a farmer, and you had lost all that and your farm went under and all that and you was in debt right now and he gave you a check, wouldn't you retire, bro? Boy, you'll retire. There's no way you'll roll the dice with that check. You still ain't got your farm workers, right? So if I got a strawberry farm, tomato farm, and you done chased all the Hispanics out, and then you give me the money, what the hell I'm going to do with it? I ain't got no workers. So what's going to happen is this. That farm aid he finna give, you know how that's going to go, right? You're the big farm. You're making billions. So you're going to get the big check. I'm the millionaire farmer. I'm going to get the millionaire check. But I ain't got no workers. The big billionaire, guess what? The money they're going to give them, guess what? They're going to be able to buy what? Robotics. They're going to be able to buy robots to pick the food. You understand what I'm saying? They'll be able to stay in business because they're getting a big check because they're billionaires, and they'll be able to go automate. They'll be able to have their farms go automated. The other farmers under that, they ain't going to have enough money to buy all them robots. They're going to have to sell to the ones going to go robotics. And that money going to go for a lot of farms to go automated and buy out the farmers that's not going to get enough money to go automated. Watch. Because you're going to get that money based on how much money you got. So if you can lose billions, you're going to get billions. But if you only lose millions, you're only going to get millions. And the ones get the billions are going to be able to upgrade. They ain't going to need no workers. because they giving the farmers money, but where you going to get the workers from? The workers ran back to South America. You understand? Think about it. No matter what aid he give them, the workers are gone. ICE is still chasing the workers. So imagine I got a strawberry farm. I got nobody to pick the strawberries. ICE is still out there, and Trump give me a big check. To do what? To plant some more strawberries? I don't got no. Meanwhile, the billionaires, guess what they gonna do? They don't need no workers. They gonna go buy this stuff. They gonna go buy this. Yeah. They ain't gonna need no workers. This gonna pick their food. Yeah. Yeah, they ain't gonna need no workers. They gonna get them billions of dollars in aid. And this how they gonna get their food. They ain't gonna have no Mexicans and Venezuelans out there. Oh no. They gonna go this route. And the millionaire farmer can't afford this equipment. They're gonna have to sell their land to these farmers that can afford automation. These the farmers gonna be in business. If you ain't got this, your ass out of business. And you're only getting millions. You can't afford this. You're gonna have to be a billionaire, big giant corporation to run a farm. I'm showing y'all the underplay for the overplay. Look at this equipment. That aid they're gonna give a farmer will not buy this for them. It's only gonna buy for the ones that's the billionaires getting the billions in aid. The one getting the millions in aid, they still ain't gonna have no workers, and they ain't gonna be able to afford this new technology. They ain't gonna be able to afford this technology. And they're gonna sell to these companies. They're gonna sell to these companies. All the farms gonna be ran like this. Just the same thing happened back in slavery with the cotton gin and the new tractors and all of that. Where they didn't need the slaves no more. Say, y'all can come up north. We don't need y'all down here no more. And only the rich. Look, if you look at slavery, right? If you look at slavery, after the Civil War, right? And then you had the Great Migration. And then when you went down south after that, what you see? You seen industrial farming. You ain't see them on small farms. By the time you got to the year 2000, it was all industrial farming. Big old giant farms. No more farms like my granddaddy farms and stuff. I guarantee you what my granddaddy farm is now, I guarantee you it's just acres and acres and acres and acres of probably one crop. Not like my granddaddy had corn here and this there and watermelon there. No, ain't no more of that down there. Ain't nobody got no corn and watermelon peanuts. Hell no. It's going to be just either corn, far as you can see, or okra, far as you can see. Peas, far as you can see. Every farm going to grow one item. Said, acres and acres. All them farms is made up of all the little farms they done bought and put them together. Buy this lot, this lot, this lot, and make a big old giant lot. Ain't nothing over here but corn or just wheat. One crop, mono farming. Exactly. So it's like with the politics, right? It's like you vote for somebody, right? And They telling you, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, right? So we vote. And you vote for this one and I vote for that one. And they be telling us what they gonna do. You know what they don't ever tell us? They don't never tell us what they ain't gonna do. You ever notice that? They always tell us what they gonna do, and they only do 20% of what they said they gonna do. 80% of that stuff they'll never do it. But they don't never tell us what they not gonna do. You ain't never noticed that? They don't ever say, they always be like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. They'll never tell you. What I'm not gonna do is you're not gonna get this money you was getting. That's what I'm not gonna do. You're not gonna get this, you're not gonna get that. I'm gonna cut off this, I'm gonna cut off that. They don't tell you that part. You don't find that till they get in office. So when election time comes, everything don't even be on the table, do it? Everything don't be on the table. Trump did not get up there and say, vote for me, and I'm gonna lock up all of them illegals that work for your farm, and you're gonna lose all your crops. He did not tell them, did he? He didn't tell them. A lot of white men that got them farms all in California that lost all their crops this year. Did you look in the store Thanksgiving? You didn't see it was weak? You didn't notice Thanksgiving food, the harvest was weak? That they stacked up food they did have? They didn't have a variety this Thanksgiving like they usually have. A lot of stuff was not in the stores. As a matter of fact, the stores look the same. Listen, tell me if I'm crazy. All the years you've been growing up, every time you went in the store around November, it was a whole bunch of different food, a lot of food. Tell me this year the store didn't look the same. In America, around Thanksgiving, the store never looks the same. The only thing they did this time to make it look a little different, they had pumpkins. They tried to fool you with the pumpkins. But all the other stuff they usually have was not in the store. When I've been going to Whole Foods, and the Whole Foods look the same. I seen no harvest in Whole Foods. I did not see nothing that looked like a fresh harvest. Like in America, and I know y'all younger than me, y'all don't know, I was born 1958. Every time you get to right after Halloween, they have the harvest food. Halloween starts harvest season. That's why it's the pumpkin for Halloween. And the store always looked different. Man, that store looked the same. As a matter of fact, the store looked weaker because the stores already got weak about 8 months ago. I told y'all about that. They already started moving stuff around on shelves so you can't tell what products they ain't got. And Whole Foods, they moved the whole store around. On my soul. They moved, the bee pollen used to be over there, now it's over there. They switched the whole store up so you can't see what's missing. I swear to God. And I was in there one day and I was in an aisle looking for stuff that don't be in that aisle. And it was a white dude and a black dude. And they was in there putting stuff on the shelves. And I was ear hustling. He was saying, what store was you at? And he was saying, I was over there. He said, what store you at over there? They said, they're going to send me over here and over there. I'm going to be over here, then I'm going to be over there in the evening. He's like, I'm going to be over here and be over there in the evening. I'm like, why they bouncing around the stock people like that? Why is everything on different shelves? You know why? Because if you go in the store and everything's on the shelves and they run out of stuff and they keep the shelves the same way, when you walk on the aisle, you're going to notice, where is everything? So what they do, so you won't notice, is change the whole store around so it's not obvious stuff is missing. I swear to God. to the point where I went in there and they had the freezers and it was full of pizzas, man. It was, y'all, it was full of pizzas. And Whole Foods, they do not sell pizzas in them frozen sections like that. And I went in there and they had changed the whole thing. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. You see all them pizza boxes? On that side of the store used to be a whole bunch of other stuff. Whole Foods did not sell no pizza box, no pizza. They didn't have no pizza boxes in there. They took everything that on this side and moved it back to this side, but it's less. So they had less stuff on this side, less stuff on that side. They took the stuff from both sides and put it on this side and brought in all these pizza boxes. When have you ever seen a frozen section in Whole Foods full of pizza boxes? Never. They don't even sell pizza like that. This would be full of all different type of plant-based frozen stuff. They rearranged the whole store and bought in new companies. You see these white boxes with the red? That's some new company. They went and found these cheap ass pizzas. Because the system is collapsing. They ain't got the merchandise. Look at all them pizza boxes. You know why? The system is collapsing. People ain't got no money. And guess what's the cheapest way to feed a family? Pizza. While they had this on there, they had a special on the news talking about it. More Americans are buying pizza because you can feed a family of 4 with one piece. You can buy one pizza, they won't be real full, but nobody will be hungry. I said, well, see, and they'll tell part of the news over here, and then they'll play with your mind, won't show you what's going on. You feel me? So these politicians don't tell you what they're not going to do. You understand? So it's like, how can I know everything that the politicians don't want me to know? Right? So they running for office. How do I know who to vote for or not when you're not even letting me know all the information? Like, what's the information? They're not telling you. They basically running a popularity contest. Who can say certain things and make you ooh and ah? Basically, that's it. Trump won on popularity. He didn't win on no policies or nothing. He don't got no policies. What? What policy he got? None. He don't have no policy. He not throwing out the migrants for your benefit. He throwing out the migrants because he ain't got enough money for you. So he got to try to figure out some way to get some money from somewhere. So if you throw them out, that'll give you a few little scraps to make you think things is all right. But throwing them out ain't going to make no big difference. That's not a lazy parent. That's a parent can't afford it. You didn't listen to what I said, Afro. They said they was giving their children pizza because they can't afford it, bro. They can't afford it, Afro. Do you know how much it would cost you now to feed 2 children Whole Foods and you and your wife to feed y'all fresh fruits and vegetables, you know how much that would cost? It's not even affordable for me as a vegan. I cannot afford fresh vegetables and fruit every day. Can't happen. These is facts. For one, the vegetables is frozen, the fruit is frozen, so it ripens too quick. So as soon as you bring some bananas home, if you don't eat them in 2 days, they black. Soon as you buy facts, soon as you buy some broccoli, if you don't eat that broccoli today or tomorrow, it ain't no good. The food is frozen, they unfreeze it, they put it on the shelves, and they spray water on it to keep it hydrated. You ever had your hand in there and the water come on? Shh, right. And if you don't take that food and sit it in a bowl of water, that broccoli gonna be soft and limp in 2 days. The only way you can keep that broccoli is to do the same thing they do in the store and keep it in fresh water because it's frozen. And as soon as they unfreeze it and put it on the shelf, it's ripened like that. And if you think I'm lying, go in Whole Foods. Go to Whole Foods at 8 in the morning. And when you go to Whole Foods at 8 in the morning and you go to the produce section, you're going to see produce workers in there throwing away pounds and pounds of food and replenish it with fresh stuff in there. But you got to get there at 8 in the morning to see how much stuff they got to throw away, how many apples they got to throw away, how many oranges they got to throw away, how many limes as hard as a brick they got to throw them away. Go in there. You're going to see all these people in the produce section. They doing it real slick so you can't tell what they're doing. They throwing away hundreds of pounds of food that was frozen and it ripened too quick. Nobody didn't buy it. They got to throw it out. The way they do it too is the thing they throw it in be over here. And then they be over there and get it, and they take it over there and throw it away. They don't have it right there. If they throwing the apples away, they'll grab the apples from here and throw them away, like over here, aisle, like a little ways over. So you won't actually just see how much stuff. They make sure they're not throwing it away right where they're grabbing it from. Go to Whole Foods, you'll see the plate. And then they put more frozen stuff up there, and that thing be spraying. Because if it don't do that, and they put that food up there, all that food will be bad in 30 minutes. 30 minutes to an hour and a half, all that stuff will be beginning to start over-ripening if they don't spray it. In some stores, that water got a chemical in it. Look it up. In some stores, that spray, it has a chemical in it. It has a preservative chemical in it. If you read where the little sprayer's at, it'll tell you this is spraying this benzo name, whatever, on this stuff. And the reason is because that food frozen. That's not fresh food. If they picked a banana in South America, if they did not pick it green and freeze it, it would never make it here. A mango would never make it here. So they got to pick it before it. That's why they don't taste good. You know why the mangoes don't taste good? Because they picking them before they get ripe. Because if they pick them ripe, it won't make it here. It'll be rotten before it get here. So they pick it unripened and they freeze it. Then they unthaw it and it artificially ripens. So it don't taste right. And since I left Hawaii, I don't really eat mangoes and stuff because these mangoes and these bananas and stuff was picked too early. Now the bananas, they'll turn out kind of right, but they ripe quick, quick, quick. Bananas never used to ripen that quick. You get the banana, it's all green and yellow. Next thing you know, it's yellow. Next thing you know, it got a few dots. The next day, it got too many dots. The next day, it's going black and mushy. You're like, damn. If you buy 8 bananas and you try to eat one and you let them get ripe and you try to eat one a day, by the time you get to the fourth one, them other ones gonna be overripe. So you're gonna have to eat two of them a day, sometimes three. And then when they come to politicians, right? We don't know who they are. Y'all ain't notice that? That's why people like Trump win, because we know who he is. We don't know nobody else. Who is J.D. Vance? Who is Pete that's running? We don't know none of them people. Man, we don't know nobody. And we got to try to figure out who to vote for, and we don't know them from a can of paint. Think about it. The people you vote for, you don't know nothing about. You don't know who they are, where they came from, what they're gonna do, or nothing. You voting based on trust. Anybody that vote say they're not voting based on trust is a liar. You voting based on they talking a good talk and you gotta believe them. Okay, well he say he gonna do this or she said she gonna do this. Okay, but you don't know if they gonna do it. You don't know if they gonna do it. And then they play a dirty game where it's this side and that side. So I can say, I'm going to go to the world moon and everything. Then get in there. And then the other side could stop me. I'll be like, y'all make sure y'all stop me when I get in there. I get in there, I'll be a Republican. I'm going to go to the moon, but the Democrats stop me. But they all working together. They made a deal with the Democrats. Now make sure you stop me because you know I can't do all this. They said, we got you. We're going to stop it. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Look at the mind games they play. You're just an American, right? You're watching the presidential election. You like Trump, right? You say I'm gonna vote for Trump. What they call you? Who they say you be supporting? Now you like Trump. What they tell you? They say you support what? The Republicans. Now you don't know no goddamn Republicans. If you in Idaho, or you in Indiana, or you in New Orleans, right? And you decide you like Trump because you like Trump, and they say you voted for the Republicans. You don't know no damn Republicans. You barely know Trump. This is the game they play. They give you the whole party. Man, you could be looking at Harris and say, I'm going to vote for Harris. They say you voted for the Democrats. I'm like, who the hell is the Democrats? And people don't see that messed up mental game. They'll take one person and they'll say you voted for the whole party. And the party is a bunch of people you don't even know. A person to tell you I voted, they'll vote for Trump and say, I support the Democrats. You tell them, name 25 Democrat politicians. I bet you they can't. Some of them can't even name more than 5 unless they name their little governor and their little mayor. But tell them name 15 politicians that's not from your state because you said you're a Republican. Name 15 Republicans. They can't do it. How you a Republican? Like people be saying, I'm a Democrat. I don't know no damn Democrats. Who's the Democrats in Detroit? I don't know. Who's the Democrats in Louisiana? I don't know. Who's the Democrats in California? The governor. That's it. I don't know them people. Think about it. So they say If I vote for Harris, they say, I support the Democrats. I said, so then if you say I support the Democrats, why can't I name 5 Democrats in Texas? How I support, I don't know these people. Y'all ain't hip to the game. They'll call you a Republican or call you a Democrat. You don't know no Republicans and you don't know no Democrats. How the hell am I a Democrat? I just want to vote for her. Well, when you vote for one person, they say you support the whole, every one of them. They say you support people you don't even know. They say you voted for the Democrats. Well, when I went in there, they got the blue lever and the red lever. Then they got individuals. So you can vote for Harris and just leave. You don't got to vote for nobody else. So when I voted, I only voted for Harris. How did I vote for the Democrats? I just voted for one person. I did not pull blue. I don't know them. Why would I vote blue? I don't know them people. Why would I vote for some blue from Tennessee? Some Democrat from Tennessee. Well, I don't know who the hell. What? This is the mental game they playing. They making it look like you love everybody that's a Republican just because you voted for Trump. You can't vote for Trump. They say you vote for the Republicans. It's like, no, I didn't. I just voted for Trump. I don't know the Republicans. Just because I like Trump don't mean I don't know nobody but him. What? So psychologically, they're ruining the people. They're making you think when you support one person, you support the whole party. When the reality is, if you're running for president and you talk about doing something good and you're a Republican and I vote, but then you're running for mayor and you're a Democrat and you're talking better than the Republican one, I'm going to vote for you. I'm going to vote for whoever won going to do a good job and they whatever rank they in. I'm not going to just vote for just any mayor just because I voted for a Republican president. That don't mean I'm finna vote for this goofball that's a Republican senator. He might not be no good. The dude might be better. Or just because I vote for Biden as a Democrat, that don't mean I'm going to vote for this mayor or this congressman just because they're a Democrat. No, get the hell out of here. And they got you so brainwashed with that, can't nobody win as an independent because they telling you, no, you represent the whole party. Americans should rise up against that, bro. I don't represent the whole party. I just vote for dude or I just vote for her. Why can't I just vote for them? Why can't I just vote for Trump? Why that's got to be considered? I voted for the Republicans. I did not vote for the Republicans. I vote for Trump. Trump. It said Trump. It didn't say Republican. But they ain't brainwashing the people. You vote for Trump. They say you voted for the Republicans. No, I did not. I don't know the Republicans. And these political hacks is going for it. They don't, here in Chicago, they don't like Brandon. Instead of saying, get Brandon out there, they say they're going to turn Chicago red. And they don't know none of the reds. They're talking about turn Chicago red. Like just because somebody's a Republican, they're going to do a good job. Well, if somebody is a Democrat didn't do a good job, what makes you think somebody that's Republican might not do a good job? Duh. So a good job is based on if you're a Republican or a Democrat? I thought a good job was based on your own individual way you function as a politician. If I'm a Democratic politician, you can't tie me to no other Democrats. You know what I'm saying? They the ones said I'm a Democrat. the political system. I'm just Pharaoh. There's no way I can represent the Democrats. Get the hell out of here. What is this, a baseball game? What is this, a football? This a Super Bowl? They ain't turned politics into like the Super Bowl of sports. It's the AFC versus the NFC. You know, stupid shit. You can't just be you. You represent the whole damn party. Imagine being in a party and I got Johnny Johnson, and I can't stand Johnny Johnson. I'm a Democrat. Johnny's a Democrat. He's an asshole and a loser and a snake and a liar and a thief. And then you say, I represent the whole Democratic Party, including this liar thief dude. Well, no, I don't represent all these. I don't even know all these. I don't even like all these Democrats. Just because I'm a Democrat, I like these people. And then if I'm independent, you don't want to vote for me because I got to be like a Democrat or I got to be a Republican because they done brainwash the public. The public brainwash. You ain't voting on nobody doing nothing good. They tricking you to vote on party lines and shit. That's what they got you voting on. They in a certain party. Yeah, you're not gonna win without on the party side because they're using the party. And then you vote for a certain party, and then they get in there and they don't never have a party. I thought y'all said this was the Democratic Party, but we are just working. And when we gonna get to a party? Y'all got to start calling it something else. Stop calling it a party because it's not fun. And they ain't got no balloons and they ain't got no peanuts and no DJ. So call this shit some other shit. Stop calling this shit a party. Because if it was a Democrat party or Republican party like this, I wouldn't go to them parties. I sure wouldn't go to that party. I would never show up at the Democrat party or the Republican party. Okay? I'd rather go to the strip club. I swear to God, they're the worst parties. I've been to a lot of parties. I've been to all kind of birthday parties, pin the tail on the donkey. We got some cake and stuff. It was fun. We 4, 5 years old. Nice party. But this new Democrat and Republican party, I don't want to go to those. I would never get no new clothes and go to the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. Them is the worst parties of all parties. They could call it something else. Stop taking the fun out of party. Y'all making parties depressing. Okay, if those is parties suck. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I want to go to no more parties. I swear to God, call it something else. Because what? Call it something else. I would never party with them, especially this guy. You know, she got a hold of L because who picked this guy? You know, I tell you, if you're campaigning, you got to be phony as hell. Like when I campaigned for Harris, I had to be as phony as possible. You know what I mean? It's just a part of the game. You got to be phony. You know what I'm saying? Because I was supporting Harris. So I couldn't come out and say, what the hell she picked this bozo for, right? When I see them, I keep it a billion. Hey, y'all, I was supporting Harris. When she picked him, what y'all think I was thinking? Oh, my God. Oh, okay, y'all, vote Harris. Lord have mercy. I was campaigning. When you campaigning, man, this is a hard job because you got to try to help somebody that's fucking up. When I see this dude was a total goofy. She already was laughing too much. And then he was just a smiley, grinny, smiley. Oh, I was like, oh, God. She already nervous and giggling. And he just, look at him. That's how he was looking at the Somalians when they was robbing the whole state. He was giggling. Oh, they was getting on my nerves. And I had to campaign. Campaigning is a hard job. People thought I was into it emotionally. No, I was campaigning. I kept telling y'all, let me show you how to campaign. And campaign is hard because you got to campaign even when they suck. The U.S. need a Freedman Party. No, Freedman Party ain't gonna go nowhere because the black man ain't having no babies. He LGBTQ there. And who gonna vote when you ain't got no kids? I had a dude over here talking about he's 37 years old. He don't want to have no kids. He ain't gonna have no kids. So who gonna vote with a weirdo like that ain't got no kids? Who gonna vote if you ain't got no people? Y'all don't make no people. Y'all ain't making no people. I was just talking to a young lady in the mailroom in this building. She thicker than a Snickers. She cute, right? But you know, she young, so I don't be trying to rap to young girls because they like my niece and my daughters and stuff. But I always be talking to her and stuff. And she was like talking about her baby. And so finally today she told me, she said, well, it's not really her baby, it's her niece. So I was tripped out because she was always talking about her baby, her baby. I get this for my baby. I thought it was her baby. But it's her niece. So I'm like, you ain't got no baby? And she's like, no. I'm like, how old is you? Like in your 20s or something? She's like, no, I'm 37 or 35, 37. And I told her straight up, I said, you know, your boyfriend need to be putting some babies up in that. You know what I'm saying? She thicker than the Snicker and cuter than the Scooter. And it's like, he ain't trying to put no babies up in there. She's like, nah. I'm like, oh, man, you new dudes. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. I would have been put two babies in her at least. Y'all ain't put no babies in nobody. Because you young brothers is losers and busters and don't want to take care of your kids. So then you got to go take you and get child support. You're like, no, G should go give me for child support. That's because you's a bum that don't take care of your kids. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no woman go take you to child support if you take care of your kids and giving us some money. Unless you rich and she a gold digger. But ain't no black woman just taking you to child support. They taking you to child support because you's a bum smoking all day, buying blunts and shit all day, drinking, and don't take care of your kids. So just tell the truth. No, gee, I don't want to have no babies because I'm a bum and all I do is smoke and drink and I'm a goofy. You're a goofy. That's why you don't have no babies. Ain't no woman taking you no child support if you taking care of the babies, taking care of her. You got a daughter, y'all break up, you still send her money. I just seen my daughter today. My daughter grown. We had dinner. I gave her $200. She working, she got money, but I still give her $200. Not only do I give her $200, her mama know if she get fucked up, call me. I'm gonna send her some money, and she and the baby grown. But I'm gonna take care of my children's mother if they're in the tight. You understand? You said feeding your kids pizza. Now you. What's your name? Afro. Yeah, you just stupid, bro. Because I already told you that people was turning to pizza because they couldn't afford to buy food. And you done took that like a goofy, right? Like a goofy that don't listen, got low comprehension skills, and you took that, and now you talking about feeding your kids pizza. And I'm plant based. I don't even eat pizza like that. But no, the pizza was based on affordability, bro. Not just how you try to make it like people got plenty of money and they just feeding their kids pizza. I'm saying people is broke and now they got to eat frozen food and canned food. So you slow, bro. Afro Troop TV must be trash over there. You know what I'm saying? Got to be trash because you slow like a bro. You so slow. I can't stand dudes like you. That I can't stand slow dudes that be trying to be controversial but too slow. I can't stand y'all, bro. You were bad for the chat, bad for people learning. You just bad for the community, bro. Brothers like you is horrible for the community. You don't teach them nothing, and you be repeating stupid stuff like it's funny. Just bad. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you bad for the community. I ain't gonna lie. Our people ain't gonna never go nowhere when brothers like you know what I'm saying? You make our people slow. Cause you didn't took what I said and you misguiding the people. Taking what I said, taking it all out of proportion. That was said in context of something, bro. We was talking about people running out of money, and we was really talking about Whole Food had to bring in pizza because people couldn't afford to buy food. We was talking about afford to buy food. You know what I'm saying? You didn't took that and just, you know what I'm saying? You didn't took that conversation. This dude didn't took that conversation and turned it into some goofy stuff. A lot of brothers over here, they slow like a snail riding a turtle. Bro, slow like this him right here. He like a snail riding on a turtle. Just slow. And sometimes you brothers be trying to be funny, but you know what I'm saying? Come back tomorrow, bro. Yeah, come back tomorrow. He's slow as hell, ain't he? Slow. This is him right here. He like a turtle trying to ride on a snail. You know what I mean? And wonder why he don't never get nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God. What can you do with them? You know people like that? You ever been around these kind of brothers? They so slow. They tell you, I'm on my way. And you 45 minutes later, he ain't there. You call him, he be on the snail. I'm coming, man. I'm coming. I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? You're like, well, what is you doing? Like, what is you crawling? You know what I mean? They better slow, like a turtle riding on a snail. I swear to God. Like a turtle riding on a snail. You know what I mean? He don't get nothing what I'm saying. All Americans a lot of Americans had to switch to frozen food, and a lot of people had to have food giveaways to try to feed the people. All right, under these times. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad it is. The churches are giving away more food. Here in Chicago, we have a food giveaways all on the streets trying to help people under these hard financial times. Because even if you got money, you know, even if you got money, anybody that disagree with this is a liar. Never in the history of my life have I stared at the cash register like now. Even though I got enough money to pay for whatever it's going to be, I cannot believe how the number be jumping up at the cash register. Like it be at $90 fast. Am I the only one? And you be looking at your bags, and I swear I swear to God, when I go to the store, I'm watching the cash register. And then I'm seeing it say $70, and I'm looking at how much more stuff I got and how little but the stuff I bought. It be tripping me out. Because even though you got the money, if you go in the store, you might got $300 in your pocket, but you don't want to give them no $80 for no 2 bags. I don't give a damn how much money you got. You know, this ain't about how much money you got. It's just like, man, wait a minute, I only got 2 bags. Which means I got to come back to the store. And y'all hit me for another 70 or 80. It's ridiculous. You just want a jar of honey. Why is this honey $7, man? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Toothpaste, $1,000 like that. It's just toothpaste, hair oil, olive oil. Have you tried to buy a bottle of olive oil? The only way you're gonna get a discount if it's in a plastic bottle with all that plastic in it. If you try to get glass, if you try to get real olive oil, only because when you read your olive oil, it'll say this is from various countries. And then certain olive oil say this olive oil is only from Italy. You know the difference in the price with the one from one country to the trash olive oil from a lot of different countries? It's like night and day. You could pay $16 for a bottle of olive oil. I swear to God. It's just it's crazy. I haven't filled up my car with gas in years. I'll always be like back up to almost a half a tank. I barely have a half a tank of gas. So unless I'm going on a long trip, but if I'm just going to work or just drive around the city, man, I go up there, man, let me get 15. Let me get 10. I don't care how much gas they give me. Give me $10 worth. Am I the only one being honest? Tell me you don't buy your gas based on dollar worth. You don't buy it based on how much it feel. I don't know how much it feel, but I know give me 10, and we're going to work with that. Man, give me 10 on pump too. This thing going to stay at a quarter. As long as I keep it at a quarter tank, it can get where I got to go. Hey, am I the only one? Give me 10 on 2. I keep it on a quarter. You know what I'm saying? I keep it on a quarter. Boy, I don't fill up my tank. Is you crazy? I'm not filling this tank up. I never fill my tank. I ain't filled my tank up in years. Oh man, I seen the thing about how to get more gas. What did they say? It's a way to pump to get more gas. I forgot what they said. Oh, they said pump it slow. They say when you pump it fast, it makes a foam down there and appears to be more full than it is. They say don't pull it back and let it run fast. Pull it just a little bit and you get more gas. Did y'all see that? They said when you buy your gas, you know how you put it in there and you pull it fast? They say don't do that. Have it run in there slow so it won't fizz up. They say don't go as fast as it can pump. Go half that speed and you get more gas. Shout out to TikTok. Yeah, I got to remember that when I go. Because I be just putting it on there now, but I got to stop doing that. You just pump it slow, you get way more gas. You pump it fast, it be bubbling up, and it registers that bubbled up part. But if you pump it slow, you get way more gas. They had a dude go to the tank and do it. Yeah, they had a dude go to the tank and do it. So I'm glad we was talking about this. So I could remember, because I had forgot. I saved it and forgot. And pump at night. Yep. But you got to pump it real slow. And you get way more gas. Just pull it a little bit and let it go slow. You're going to save a gang of money. You're going to get way more for $20 like that than you're going to get for $20 fast. Way more gas. They even showed a picture of how the gas be going in there and how it be bubbling up, and that be tricking the meter to stop. You understand? But when you pump it slow, you get way more gas, way more. And they know nobody don't know that. They know you're gonna just put it on the thing and lock it and just stand there. Don't do that. Pump it slow. I forgot about. I'm glad I'm talking to y'all because I forgot about that. I be downloading them videos and saving it, but then they stay in the save thing. And I gotta go back and watch them and send them to so I can put them in a folder. But they be robbing us, you know what I'm saying? And like we just voting based on trust. Yep. Yep, they did experiment. They did it live and recorded it. It's an absolute fact. They did it live. They showed the science. They showed the inside of the pump. They showed the inside of the gas tank when you're pumping it. And how it be bubbling. It be bubbling. It be fizzing. Okay, just like if you got a soda, right? And if you got a glass, and if you pour the soda real in there, it's gonna fill up the glass with all soda. But if you pour it fast, you ain't gonna be able to fill up the glass, right? Because it's gonna be all this foam. Same principle. When you pour the glass, the only way you can fill your glass up with soda is you got to pour it slow. If you pour it fast, the glass gonna get full, but it's gonna be a half a glass of soda and a half a glass of fizz. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. So to get it to we learn how to do it with soda, pour it slow. This what they be doing when you buy soda. They got it in that machine. You don't be getting no soda in there. Then they put a whole bunch of ice. So all you got is a cup full of ice and fizz. And the ice is melting. So as you're drinking it, the ice is melting. So you thinking you get more soda, but you get your soda being cut with water because the ice is cutting it. Slick, ain't it? Because I used to be with a rapper, he was overweight. And you know, one thing about overweight people, he gonna get all his. So he would go in the store like, let me get a large, let me get a super sized Coke. No ice. You know what I'm saying? I said, damn, but he was right. He was like, no ice. Because they'll put a half a cup of ice in there. He want all his soda. Man, you better not put no ice in that man thing. He gonna say, I don't want this. I said, no, I don't want no ice. I want all soda. Rest in peace to Big Lou. He didn't lose that weight. He passed away. He young as hell. Gone already. That was my man too. Big Lou, but he couldn't control that eating and stuff. He was playing video games and passed away at playing video. His wife found him in the chair, gone, playing the game. Ain't that messed up? So you know with this voting, man, this voting is bogus. The whole way it's going, it's foul. I ain't gonna lie. It's foul. We don't know who these people are. And Harris to make me talk about this because I got these weird mixed emotions. Because for Foundation Black America, I definitely want to get these immigrants out of here. You know, these immigrants, they gotta go. You know, as a black man born in Chicago, family from Chicago, and I hate to say this, black immigrants have been the worst brothers and sisters we could have ever dreamed of. They're horrible. You know, we here in the belly of the beast, we was here doing the slavery and the cotton picking when there was none of them black immigrants was here. And instead of them coming and feeling our pain what we go through and respecting all the doors we open up for them, you know, just imagine that. Imagine you in Africa or you in the Caribbean and you know the history that you know these people was in chains, bondage, you know, everything they went through to get some freedom. You know, everything they went through, right, to be able to vote, right? right? You know everything. You are African, you're from the Caribbean, you know everything that Black Americans went through to even be able to get on an airplane. You know Rosa Parks couldn't even get on a bus. So if she can't get on the bus, what make you think you can get on the airplane in Jamaica or airplane in Africa and get here? So this woman fought for you to be able to get on a plane and come here from Somalia, come here from Mexico, because the plane would have been whites only without us. We're the reason that the plane don't say whites only. So you come all the way from Africa here. I seen the Somalis say they did what we did in 30 years. Of course, because you came here off of the backs of what we already accomplished. We already did hundreds of years of work for you. Somalians really believe that they got where they got to get on their own without picking no cotton, no Jim Crow, no white side. They didn't do none of that. We did all the work. Then they came in and said they accomplished more quicker than us. This just show you a lot of the Africans ain't the brightest bulbs in the lab. You know how stupid you got to be to say that? Somalians, y'all know how stupid y'all sound to say y'all accomplished all this on 30 years when we gave you a head start? You know how dumb you got to be? Do you know how stupid you got to be a Somalian? And come here off of the rights we fought for and really beat on your chest and think that you accomplished all that. And you going to compare yourself to our accomplishments that go way back to the 1700s. And you say, you accomplished what we accomplished in 30 years. But you did it because of us. You came in without 100 years. You know what I'm saying? You came in, let's say the 60s, 60, 70, 80, 90, 2010, 2020. You came in with 70 years of work, and that's just, it's more than that. We'll just take the main part. 70 years of work was done. You Africans and all y'all came here standing on 70 years of work and say you accomplished something in 30 years. Standing on our work. Like you the reason you could ride the bus. Like you the reason you could drink off the water fountain. Get them the hell out of here. If you were Black and you came to this country and you ain't got no respect for us, get out. Get out. We hope they put you all out. Get out. Get out. There's no way we're going to fight for you with that type of disrespect. And that's the nice way. That ain't the way Pharaoh would do it. And we're just going to leave that like that. Trump way is better than my way. I'm just telling you. Because my way, we would deal with you. But my way, ain't the way. So let the government do it. But my way, we'll make you leave you'll hurry up and leave. Because I ain't gonna lie, Black immigrants have been the biggest disappointment in Black history. They are a goddamn disgrace. Blacks that came here, them is the worst Black people in history. Just a total disgrace. Didn't come and join in the fight. Came in and fought against the people that made it possible for them to come in. And now they're being thrown out. You can't get no more dumber than that. Ain't no way. That's why I ain't no Pan-African no more. I never don't want to go to Africa. Well, I want to go to Africa with a whole continent full of haters that ain't got nothing going on. All the cities dirty and nasty and all that. I just watched a video with a brother from Africa showing how dirty and nasty all these cities is, except like one. You know what I'm saying? come over here and try to fight against the people that made it possible for you to come over here. Don't know no history and think them people love you. And them people like, you N-word, get your ass out of here and go back to Somalia. Now they call you animals and all type of stuff. Duh. You don't know your damn history. And now you all on the internet disrespecting us. Let me tell you something to you blacks, especially you Africans. Not only are y'all horrible for black people, y'all are the worst parents ever. Totally. Why would you get on social media, disrespect foundational black Americans, and have your children walking around out here, putting your children in danger? Because them young foundational black Americans, and when they find out it's a beef, you think your sons and daughters going to be having a good time in school? Why would you do that? Why would I go to Africa, disrespect Africa, and have my kids walking around in Africa? Do that make sense, y'all? Go to Africa. Get on social media, talk crazy about Africa. Then have my children walking around with African children where they outnumbered. You can't make this stuff up. So now when the black American children hear that their parents don't like you, and then they bump into your children, how you think that's going to go? And then what you going to do, run to areas that got Ku Klux Klan and Nazis? Oh, you don't know that. You think you can go live in those white neighborhoods where you got a lot of decent white people, but you definitely got race haters? And you could be around 1,000 nice whites, but 10 race haters could make you have a bad day. All you got to do is bump into the haters at night at a gas station. That's it. All you got to do is bump into the haters at a bar, at a store. That's all. Where it ain't no decent whites there, where it's just you and them kind. Next thing you know, your son missing. Your son, look at all the young black men missing. Look how many people they find accidentally hanging from a tree. Accidentally. And you come way over here. You don't get it, huh? Crazy. And politically, you ain't gonna win nothing. We ain't vote for none of y'all. Y'all all got to get out of office. We don't want no black immigrants in office representing us at all, because they don't represent us. They only represent themselves. But we 50 million strong, and we don't want them in there cosplaying black. Get them out of here. You know, everybody file got to be run when it's time to vote. And we're going to have to go out and vote against black immigrants. Period. I would say it would be better to vote for a white politician than a black immigrant. Don't let no black immigrants get in office. If you got to, vote for the white opposite, the white one. Because even if the white one is racist, it's better to have a racist that don't look like you than your own a racist brother or sister. Ain't nothing worse than your own. And black immigrants is a total, historically, they going down as the biggest sellouts in black history. It's facts. It's going to go down in history that the day came, if more blacks start coming from Africa and stuff like that, and they was total coons. That's going to be historically. Ain't no getting around it. They didn't come. All us stood up for Winnie and all of that, and all the Pan-Africanism over here and all that stuff, and all of the studying of Kemet and all that we done. The brothers and sisters came from Africa and was not brothers and sisters. Was the damn ops. Came all the way from Africa on our backs. We made it possible for you to come. from the Caribbean, from Africa, and you take our work to make it possible for you to come, and then you come over here and you just hate us for no goddamn reason. The black women coming from Africa, emulating the black woman from America, that's emulating the white woman from America. Think about that. The black woman from America back in the 60s and 70s, she want to get her hair straight. Our world is empty without you, babe. She want to be the supreme and shit, cool. So she go get her, straighten her hair and stuff, but she do it in a black way. So even though she's straightening her hair, she still put that soul on it. The African women go see her, they go copy the black American woman and do her hair like her, do everything like her. And you African women is a lie if you say you ain't copying Aretha Franklin and Diana Ross and all of these black superstar women. That's who you copying, right? That's who you copying. And then you come over here and you don't respect the sisters you copying. Unbelievable. You know, the African women are the worst. Know damn well you copying foundational black American women. The way you're doing your nails and everything. You weren't doing none of that in Africa. All of that is black American style. All of it. Every woman you see in Africa is trying to look like a foundational black American woman. Every one of them. Every one of them. Every one of them trying to look like stuff my mama and my sister and them created way back. We did that back in the late 50s, 60s, and 70s. And 80s, we built that style. Years ago. Years ago. And you can't catch up because you mustard. And then come over here. Hey, I tell you, it's been very disappointing. That's been just horrible. So politically, you know, we ain't, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie. Barack Obama is one of them too. And that was my man. And you know, I'm the type of person, I'll be honest regardless. And everybody know I hold Barack, but I'll be honest. You know, he was a disappointment. He ain't stand on nothing. I stood up for him, but he ain't really stand up for me. Him and Michelle is been a big disappointment. Huge. Because even though he didn't do nothing in office, he still could have spoke up now. He still ain't saying shit. He still ain't standing on nothing. We could give you a break for not doing nothing in office. Maybe you didn't want to get assassinated or something. But what now? What's up now? All you could say is that I need to take my son. My son need to have take him around an older gay man to teach him something, bruh. This is what we want the first black president to say some stupid shit like that. How can I uphold you when you say so? Saying I need my son need to have some gay mentors? I'm not anti-gay or nothing, but to say that they not gonna be nothing or they just need that in their life, like that's gonna make them do better in math. That's going to make them do better in engineering and science and reading is by being around a gay man? And can you guarantee that the gay man don't like children? Like, seriously? Because men that molest boys are gay. So we can't just say heterosexuals are positive. Heterosexuals, great women. And we can't say gays is positive. You got some positive. Do you think, Pharaoh, there have ever been a president that stood for blacks? Uh, Everything blacks got, we made them stand up for it. Nobody stood up for us. We stood their ass up. We put the pressure on Kennedy. We put the pressure on Johnson. Everything we got it on our own. Politicians only helped us because we forced them. Everything we got it on our own. We didn't get it from nobody. What's going on? Everything we got it on our own. Nobody ever wanted to do nothing for us, including go to school. We went to school because we was fighting and people got beat up. Facts. People got beat up and became our friend. We didn't see. They always want to tell y'all what Martin Luther King and them did. They don't want to tell you what the kids did. They don't want to tell you what the teenagers did, because the way the parents was battling racism with the other parents, we was battling racism with their children, and their children lost. And that's why you had flight. That's why they moved out the community. They moved out the community because the young children was beating up their young children. Facts. Here in Chicago at Finger High School, Morgan, Gage Park, Humboldt Park, all that. Yeah. When my parents took me out of public school and sent me to a Lutheran school, y'all think I was playing? It was a mixed school. Y'all think I played with them dudes up there? What you think it was like? I went to school. I had a lot of white friends, but they ain't had no choice but to be a friend. It wasn't like they had no choice. You're going to get down or lay down. All that was by force. We wasn't playing. We didn't get free by playing and smiling and grinning. That was done with physical too. It was physical. A lot of fighting in Chicago. A lot of fighting. Racism created the gangs. The gangs was built off of racism, going to fight the racists. And then after they didn't have no more racists to fight, then they was already built a unit based on violence. Anybody tell you that? The Crips and the Bloods too. They was formed fighting whites from the Navy that was going around beating up black people, drunk sailors. There wasn't no race wars. We had no wars. Wasn't no race wars. I mean, there was racial problems back in the day, but in the 60s, 70s, there wasn't no race wars in the 60s and 70s. It was just little squabbles. That's it. It wasn't enough racist whites to have no war. Whites ain't racist. It was just some races. You know, don't generalize. Whites was not racist. It was some races. You know what I'm saying? That's false too. I went to a Lutheran school with white. I had a whole bunch of white friends. They was cool. They was not racist. It was just it was always a small percentage of racists. They don't be telling the story correctly. And sometimes they'll be like, okay, I'll tell you something. Like, say I'm a black kid and I go to school mostly white. And there's some white racists antagonizing me and doing stuff to me. And you see the footage and you see all these whites antagonizing me. The fact of the matter, only a few of them white dudes is doing that. The other white kids are afraid of those kids. So the bullies do that. So the other kids gotta follow the bullies because they scared. You understand? So when you look at them old clips of the black girl come to school and you see all them whites antagonize her, a lot of them don't want to be there. But they have to. If they don't, the bully's going to get at them. So bullies be forcing the other kids to do stuff they really wouldn't do. Facts. This is a fact. The bullies would terrorize everybody. So when I went to school, the key was whoop the bully. Once you knock the bully out and whoop the bully, all the other kids be happy. Listen, if you black and you go to school and you fight a white bully and beat him up and he kind of cower down, the white kids be free. The white, because there's black kids and white kids that's not with that. They kind of nerdy. They're not rough like that. And the bullies, the black bullies, which we didn't have a same bully culture as whites. Whites had a worse bully culture because in the black community, your mom and daddy ain't letting you do no bullies. In their community, bullies would get away with stuff. In the black community, hell no. Your mama be like, your mama take you back up there and make you fight the bully. So it's a different culture. But once you would shut the bullies down, the other white kids would finally could be normal. They didn't want to do that stuff either. I went to a Lutheran school in 7th grade. And in 7th grade, when I got there, there was only 2 real races there. A dude named Craig and a dude named Eric. I was in the 7th grade, they was in the 8th grade. And once I stole on Craig a couple times, and he punked out. And then once I hit Eric in the face with a brand new clincher softball, all that racism went out the window because the other blacks that been going there, they started getting tough because they had been around that racism. And the white kids were so happy that shit was over. Because them same dudes that was trying to bully me was bullying the white kids. They was bullies, and they just did racial bullying to me. But they was bullying the white kids too. These be bullies. So it makes it look like the whites was racist. They wasn't racist. They was being bullied. The bullies was racist. That's a fact. That's why white people get a bad rap. They not racist like that. Them be the bullies. That's a fact. White people not racist like that. That's a fact. It's the bullies. You go to your white friend's house and the bully neighbors go tell him, why you got these black guys over here? We don't want them. We don't want them over here, and terrorize the other white family. And then they have their son tell you, my mom and dad say you can't come back over there no more because they having problems. That happened to me with my boy Tom. I was going to Tom's house and the neighbor said something to his parents. Tom's parents didn't give a damn. But some racist neighbors kind of threatened them. So not to have any problems in the community, I was advised it probably ain't good to come over there. This is all facts. So then they say white people. It's not white people, it's bully. It's a bully culture. Racism is a bully culture. You know what I'm saying? It's a bully culture. So that's why to be like that, they moved to what you call sundown towns. And they got sundown towns. I got a friend now, it's a truck driver, and he went to get some gas. They told him, listen, we don't really want you stopping here for gas, but you need to be out of here before it get dark. You need to be out of this area, this county, before it get dark. They said, we just gonna give you a word to the wise. You can't be here when it get dark. Facts. This was recently. He a trucker. Like you guys still got sundown towns. And if you don't know where you're driving and you end up late at night and you in the wrong town, your ass is out of here. That's why you should always drive in the day. You should never drive at night. And if you drive at night, before it get dark, you need to fill up your tank so you don't need no more gas till sunrise. Because pulling over getting gas ain't cool. I remember one time, we used to do the 420 music, and we would drive across the country. And I was real strict on them. Sometimes we get off the road and we go get gas at the gas station. I'm telling them, get your snacks. When I get this gas in this car, be in this car so we can get the hell out of here. Right? Right? So what happened is one time we in there and the overweight dude, he just in there like he at the mall. I'm like, dude, come on. He get in the car. If you know about those highways where you get gas and stuff out in the middle of nowhere. So when we leave the gas station and we go to get back on the highway, guess what I see? I see the sheriffs coming off at that exit. You understand? Guess who he was coming for? Us. Somebody had called him. Might have been a cousin. See what I'm saying? Hey, there's some N-words in here, Bobby. So as I'm getting on the freeway, I see him getting off. I know he don't know that's us in the car. It's night. And when I hit the freeway, I'm doing 90 to get far enough down so if he get back on the freeway, he ain't going to be able to find me. But I know for sure we didn't want to be at that gas station when he got there. And I know some Rastas. They was messing around. They had a bunch of ganja in the van. And they stopped at one of them gas stations. And one of them racist police out in the middle of nowhere happened to get off there. And next thing you know, he searched the van and found all that weed. He searched them for nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up, bro. You understand? Should we have more racist people in our community to counter that like other communities? I mean, I don't believe in racism. I don't believe two wrongs make a right. So I don't believe you need racism. Racism, we teach our children, anybody bother you, defend yourself. So you got to defend yourself from whoever. You're not just defending yourself against racism. So no, I don't believe racism is unhealthy. Looking at somebody by the color of their skin and disliking them is unhealthy, is whack, is trash. I don't believe in racism. Period. I believe you run up, you get done up. And we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I don't care who you is. So just defend yourself. You don't make it about race. You don't let nobody that's pushing evil, you don't turn evil to fight evil. You don't do that. We shouldn't be nothing like that. We shouldn't be picking on no white person just because they white. What kind of weirdo stuff is that? Here's two young white dudes with their girlfriends having a good time, and I'm going to go bother them just because they white? Like, that's whack. Like, who will do that? Weirdo stuff. So you saying because they some weirdos, we need some weirdos? Nah, bro, we ain't doing that goofy shit. I ain't got time to be just hating somebody. I don't even know you. You ain't did nothing. And just because of the color of your skin, ain't no way I could do that. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It's too petty. I couldn't do it. I think racists is idiots. I ain't gonna be like, I need to be an idiot too. Nah, I can't do it. I just can't. I just can't. Because let me put it to you like this. Let's say you want to be a reverse race. You want to be a black race. You come to Chicago. It's still a high possibility some black dude's going to pop you. In Chicago, you ain't gonna have no problem with no whites. You're not gonna get robbed by no whites. You're not gonna get carjacked by no whites. You're not gonna get no home invasion from the whites in Chicago. It's gonna be black dudes that gonna ruin your life in Chicago. So I don't know. I don't know where you live at. I don't know. I'll keep it a billion. If you come to Chicago, you ain't gonna have no hard time with no white police. Nope. You might run into a couple of weird police, but they ain't gonna bother you like that. But them savages out there, you know what I'm saying? You say I kind of get it sometimes. It seems like our people are the only ones on earth with no haters on our side. We got haters, but they hate you. Listen, this is what you don't understand. When people hate you because of the color of your skin, they really just hate you because you're the best. So if you're the best, now you ain't gonna hate them. How you gonna be jealous of somebody when you is great? They only jealous of you because they feel inferior. So it's impossible for us to be like them because we don't feel inferior. A lot of people inferior. They see the color of our skin, they feel inferior. That's why they try to make you think your skin is ugly when they really know your skin is the best and the strongest. You understand? So if somebody is jealous of you as a race of people, because nobody hates you unless they're jealous, who just hates you because you a certain race? Based on what? Jealousy. There could be no other reason that you white and you don't like me. You don't even know me. So you petty. So you saying we should be petty? No. Nah, I ain't got time to do that. I don't do that. I don't do petty. This Chicago. Anybody run up, get done up. We don't discriminate in Chicago. You act a fool, things go bad. No matter what, you know. You could be Mexican, Venezuelan, white, another black person, whatever. You run up, you get done up. You know, that's the Chicago way. We just deal with whoever acting a fool. And when you function like that, you don't have no problems. When you go somewhere and everybody knows they gonna get done up, don't nobody, a racist will not say nothing to you if you standing on business. Facts. And they can look at the way you move to see if you're the one to play with. And you can go to NASCAR. Listen, I used to go to rock concerts like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin. Me and my friends, 4 black dudes with thousands of whites. And nobody said nothing. One time a dude called us an N-word. We was in line, waiting for them to open the doors at a big concert at White Sox Park. And he ran by 60 miles an hour and said N-word. He said N-word while he was running 60 miles an hour, though. He ran by saying it. He didn't walk up and say it because we would have beat him up. None white people wouldn't have helped him. He would have just got whooped. This Chicago. They know in Chicago, if you try to gang up on us and stuff and you got a concert, by the time the concert's over, we're going to be back with a bunch of dudes who live over there. See what I'm saying? We're going to go get, you know what I'm saying? This Chicago. You do that shit, it ain't going to be good for y'all when y'all come back out there. Y'all on 35th. This side is white. That side is the projects. Act a fool on this side, people going to come from over that side. So and then they not on there. They out there trying to have a good time. So they look at that dude as an idiot. The one that rolled by and called us, they looking at an idiot. You messing a party up. We out here trying to party. We out here trying to smoke out and party. Ain't nobody on that, bruh. So the whites don't honor that when they trying to have a good time. Nobody out there on no goofy shit like that. And I seen them all, Pink Floyd and all that. We the only blacks there. Never had no racial problems at all. As a matter of fact, culturally, people love you when you come to their stuff. Facts. You can go to the German Beer Fest, and when they see you black and you there, it's like you stamped it as popping. And they like, yeah! They glad you there. They like, you guys are here too? You like the German beer? Yes! That's how people are. You can go to the Asian thing or whatever. People like for you to come and check out their culture. They love it. Yeah, out of 100% of the people, 97%, maybe 98 is happy you came. They love when you love their culture. This is a fact. When we got to Hawaii, and see we young black rosters like that, they'll go get some shells out to sea that they eat and say, you want to try OP, bro? You're like, no, we vegetarian, we'll eat that. He might come back with a crab. You want to try, bro? No, we don't eat that. He come back with a breadfruit, and you eat the breadfruit, and you say, oh, this is good. They're like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? They be so happy you like that breadfruit that you stamp their culture. They keep coming back with stuff till they find something you like. And when they find something you like, it's up. They go get all the breadfruit. And then they say, okay, then they come with the mangoes, the bananas. Oh, they got it now. This is what you, okay. Then you're like, oh, these are the best mangoes ever. They're like, yeah, bro, shaka. They be happy. If you go to an Italian restaurant and the Italian guy bringing your food and you black, he gonna watch your expressions. And if you like it, you make his day. If you like it, man, you make his day because he know the Italians like it. But he want to see if another race, if another culture like it, oh, bam. Yeah, in Dalton, they would do certain stuff in the 70s and certain stuff, but you know, that was areas that hadn't been gentrified yet. So when you start talking about Dalton and out that way, they hadn't been gentrified. They hadn't had that much experience with blacks yet. But by the time you get to the 80s, I bet you they wasn't doing that. So that, like, a lot of times people act away because of unfamiliarity. They're not familiar. They're not familiar with you. Because I got some friends that used to be Nazis and KKK. They used to hate black people, but that's because they hadn't been around none. And they say, man, but once I got around the brothers, I couldn't do that no more. He said, I just hate them. I ain't even know them. He said, but when I got to know some black people, I'm like, oh, I'm tripping. he got a fake eye. He take it out of his head. He like, we used to be a Nazi, I think. Well, KKK, one of them. He was in one of them hate groups. But that was only because he didn't know. He was going by what other people was telling him. But when he finally met some blacks, he was like, shit, they cool. Because for one, the KKK don't hate blacks. That's fake too. The KKK just don't want no race mixing. A lot of people don't know that. They're not like the Nazis. The Nazis practice that ethnic cleansing stuff. But the KKK just don't believe in integration. They don't hate blacks. They like blacks live over there and whites live over there. And the only time the KKK would have problems if they felt like you was moving into their territory or trying to have sex with their women. Because my daddy told me that the main reason white men hate us because they're afraid we're going to sleep with their wife. That was my daddy. He was born in 1931. He said, son, let me tell you something. The main reason they don't like us is because they think that when they go to work, we're going to be over there with their wife. That's what my daddy told me. It's all over the woman. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but my daddy born in Alabama. That's what he told me. He said he always imagined that. And when I got to Hawaii, I seen that was true. When I went to the Lutheran school, I seen that was true because the white women was infatuated with the blacks. And the cultures are different, right? The black culture, we chase the women, we holler at the women, we get at the women. The white culture, the men hang around the men. They don't mess with the women like that. The women is an afterthought. So when I went to a Lutheran school as a freshman, it was pretty much half and half. And I remember asking my white friends, I'm like, why y'all don't talk to y'all women? Because I'd be like, we talk to ours. And the white guys, they would not talk to their women. They're all around the bros, yeah, bros, and we's always around the women. So it's like a different culture. They have a male culture. They popping each other on the butt with towels and stuff like that. We wasn't doing that. So the white women, they was fantasizing about us because we really beat on the women. It was a white woman I went to school with. Her name was Jackie. And we was in high school and she had a part-time job after work working at Dunkin' Donuts. And every, like twice or three times a week, she'd bring me a box of donuts. That lady was in love with me, but she lived in Longwood. And I was smart. I know I can't be going over there seeing that girl over there. I know what's going to happen if I keep going over there and they catch me over there with that girl. I knew that back as a freshman and a sophomore that I couldn't mess with Jackie like that. But that girl was in love with me. But then another reason I didn't go, because they wasn't as fine as Denise and Shirley did. It was a no, man, come on, man. The finest girls at the school was the black girls. All my white friends, they always asking me about Denise and Cheryl and Deborah and them. They fantasizing our women. We ain't fantasizing theirs. That's the honest to God truth. Hey, I had a friend named Tom. And me and my boy Kepper, we went over there. And he was having like a gathering at his house. So it was a bunch of white dudes and a bunch of white girls. And two black dudes, me and my boy. So we all upstairs chilling. We up there smoking and chilling. And it's like four or five white dudes and like four white women. It was like 5 or 6 white dudes. It was a couple more dudes than women, but it's like 4 white women, 6 white dudes, and us 2 black dudes. So I wanted to get away and get some space for a minute, so I went downstairs. So when I went downstairs, one white girl came down. Then the second white girl came down. Then the third white girl came down. Then the fourth white girl came down. Then the white dudes came downstairs. I ain't paying no attention. I didn't really pay no. I seen it, but it didn't really click. So then I went upstairs. When I went upstairs, one white girl came upstairs, two white girls. That's when I peeped it. Three white girls came upstairs. Four, and then the white dudes came. Right? Now I don't know these white dudes, I just know Tom. So the one white dude, he started to be jealous. So he says, a smart crack, he says, probably driving a Cadillac. So he said. So when we got ready to leave and I walked out the door and they came to see me go and I jumped in that big brand new sedan DeVille, he said, my God, right? I really was in the big caddy. That was my daddy car. I swear to God. So the same white dude said, probably in a Cadillac. When I got ready to leave and I jumped in the Cadillac, he says, oh my gosh. And he runs up and guess what he says? He wanted me to drive him around a couple of blocks. I said, get in. You know what I'm saying? I said, get in. And I drove him around a couple of blocks. He wasn't no problem because I was carrying one of these African canes, like I was carrying some kind of cane. So I wouldn't have did nothing but christen them the big ship lollipop. Boy, why you think I'm out here? Boy, this Stu Gambler, you know what I'm saying? Because I was kind of like, I was already shooting dice. And the black neighborhood, you got gangs and stuff. So black neighborhood's rougher than theirs. You really got to be a G to grow up. But yeah, he wanted to ride. My friend Tom said, see, we thought he was making a joke about the car. He had no idea he really was in a big Cadillac. But he turned to a fan. He just wanted me to drive. He had never been in one before. He wanted me, he said, could he get in? Well, I just drive him around a few blocks. I said, yeah, get your punk ass in. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, you could get in. You came this close. You know what I'm saying? Because back in them days, we didn't do guns and knives. You're going to have your fist game together. You know what I'm saying? And dude, I doubt it. Because, boy, we float like butterflies and sting like bees. All we do all day is box because Muhammad Ali is our hero. So I know he didn't have no hands. That's why they used to like to do wrestling. They ain't had no hands. But if you got hands, wrestling ain't going to work. Because when you run in, we're going to back up and we're going to pop, 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 pop. And you're going to go down for you could grab me. And then when you grab me, it's going to be pop, pop. Oh, you're going to get beat up still. Wrestling ain't going to work. Hands trump everything. Speed, hands. Wrestling, you go down and make a wrestling move and catch an uppercut. Wrestling move over. You know what I'm saying? You're down. 1, 2, 9. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they follow me wherever I went. That's my first, I'm in high school. I'm probably like a junior. That's my first, and I said, oh, this is weird. This is weird. You know what I'm saying? So to end it off and to round up what we were saying, when you're dealing with voting, it's all trust. They tell you they run for office, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, but, you don't know if they're going to do it or not. You got to kind of vote for them and hopefully they do it. You know what I mean? And then you put them in there and they said they're going to do all this stuff, but they do stuff. You ain't telling me you was going to do this stuff. And they start doing stuff they didn't tell you about. It's crazy with these politicians. And I'm going to tell you something. Until Americans get a list of what they all want and stand on these politicians for that list, it's going to get worse. As long as you want to vote Republicans and you only want this, and you want to go Democrat, until we get together and say, listen, we want this, and this, all of us. That's the only way they're going to get this country back on track. Seriously. The American public got to stop with this Democrat, Republican foolish nonsense. It got to come with some real stuff that we all agree on. Look, stop charging us no taxes. We ain't paying no taxes on overtime. Do everybody agree? Everybody gonna say, hell yeah. Why we ain't never bring that up? Listen, who disagree with no taxes on overtime? I seen Trump say it. He stole that from me. I'm the only one, I'm the first one on this YouTube that said no taxes for overtime. Now politicians stealing my stuff ain't giving me no credit. That was my program. I was the only one in the whole America saying that. Fact, black, white, Hispanic, and Asian, that was my idea. No tax on overtime. If you work and you want to do overtime, don't tax. And where I got that from, I worked for W.F. Hall Printing Company, right? And so if you worked overtime on the weekend and made $400, you only got $200. So you not already work 5 days, right? You only work 5 days. Then, right, you work 2 more days. You make $400. You try to make some extra dollars, they take half of it. So what happened is the factory couldn't get nobody to work overtime because nobody wanted to work and lose half their money. So it's hurting production. Ain't nobody gonna work 7 days a week, put in extra they free time and don't get rewarded. You're supposed to get rewarded if you go to work on your off day. Let people keep all that money. It's better for the companies. If people could keep their overtime, the companies would be working 7 days a week. People would be doing overtime. Production would go up. Because I worked at a book factory and people would come in there and you could see them when you leave. There's an office where they order and they might want 1 million books by so many days. So you need these workers to come in overtime because you got to get this order filled. Because if you get the order filled for these paperback books, somebody else wants some. It's business. And so production for cars and everything will go up if you let the people keep the money. They'll come and work overtime if they could keep the money. But they're not going to come on their off days, work 2 days, and you take 1 day worth of pay. So let me get this straight. I work Saturday and Sunday. I work Monday through Friday. I decide to come to work Saturday and Sunday, and I only get paid for Saturday, and y'all going to take Sunday? So the boss want me to come work 2 days, but I'm only going to get paid for 1. I'll pass. I ain't coming in there and working my 2 off days and only get paid for 1 of them. Is you crazy? I can't believe that the American government ain't figured that out. Like, what? Overtime is a bonus. And overtime don't help you. Overtime helps the company you work for with production. More production means more money for the company. Nobody's going to stay away from their family and don't reap the full benefits. You feel me? I remember one time, man, I was working overtime. And I had worked in fact, I worked the night shift. And I worked the weekend. And then I was real tired. And I had made like $450 overtime. And I was driving home the last day of overtime and went under a viaduct. And I guess going by, went to sleep and ran into the back of somebody's car. Their car was fine, but my front end was tore up. I had made $400 some. Guess how much it cost me to fix my front end? $400 and some. I said, God damn. I made $400 and it cost me $400. Tore up the front end of my car, and all that money I made that weekend, I had to get a new front end on my Chevy. I said, that was a lesson right there, bro. Sit your ass down. You're doing too much. Listen, why I fell asleep as soon as I went into the viaduct? Because as soon as it got dark, I fell asleep. As soon as I went into that dark viaduct, that's how sleepy I probably was. And I was knocked out. I didn't wake up till I hit the car. I'm lucky to be alive. Made 400, and it cost me 400 to get the Chevy fixed. Would it cost more than that with them cars y'all got? I had the old school Chevy where that thing steel. You know what I'm saying? That thing steel, so the damage wasn't that bad. You know, a few $100s to put it back together. Didn't damage the lady's car at all, so they didn't care. As a matter of fact, I think they woke me up. I ran to the back of them, was still asleep. Hey, what happened? Oh, damn. I think I was still asleep. Working all them hours, night shift, you know what I'm saying? Probably was hanging out in the day, too. The night shift is hard because you get sleepy about 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, but then when you get off, the sun come up and it kind of wake you back up. And if you ain't careful, you're supposed to be in bed at 2, but if you ain't careful, you run around your girlfriend or whatever. Shoot, by the time you try to go to bed, it'd be 8 and you got to get up at 10. So you only get a 2-hour nap. Night shift is hard, boy, because it's hard to go to sleep. Because your after work is the morning and your nighttime is like 2. So 2 p.m. is your 10 o'clock at night. You got to go to bed at 2 p.m. That's hard as hell. Because you got to go to sleep 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got to get up at 10. You got to be at work at 11:30. I worked 11:30, 7:30. Another hard thing about it, imagine getting to work at 11:30 and the shift before you is putting on their dress clothes. They going to a party. You know what I'm saying? You coming to work, they going to a party. You like, I hate this. That's party hours. You can't do no partying at the 11:30 shift. You missing all the parties. You can go to a party Saturday night, but Friday night was always the best parties, and you missing Friday night. You know what I'm saying? You missing Friday night, and what good is Sunday night? What you gonna do Sunday night? Back in the 70s. So I don't know what's going on with the voting situation, but I know this. It ain't working out so good. It's a bunch of confusion. It's a bunch of confusion. It's gotten ridiculous. You don't know none of these politicians. You're trying to pick this side or that side. It's ridiculous. It's a political system is trash. And the people in turn are like gangs, right? You know, the red against the blue, the Democrats against the Republicans. And ain't nothing really getting done the way it's supposed to do. And you depending on somebody, but they get in there. And are they going to do what you want them to do? Because Trump is doing some all right stuff, but mostly he's just making money for his family. He making more money for his family than he making for the American citizens. Every deal he cutting is for his sons. He ain't cut no deals for the U.S. I just seen him selling a credit card as the president. I ain't never seen no president that selling, that's grifting while you the president. So he can do some good things, but he's a crook, like he's a straight crook, a grifter, like basically. The man is selling stuff while he the president. He had a watch, he had a bunch of stuff. Remember he had Elon Musk, they had the cars in front of the White House? Remember he had the cars? The man had the cars in front of the White House. Y'all remember that? The man had the cars in front of the White House. It was the craziest thing I ever seen. I never seen nothing like that before. It's like this guy, like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? This is embarrassing. Remember? Man, listen. The man was selling cars in front of, you know what I'm saying? The craziest president in U.S. history. Yeah, tore apart the White House. Just a mess. It's a real mess. I ain't gonna lie, like a horror. Like I don't know what you call it. You know what I'm saying? Some Americans is just supporting it. Why? I don't know. I don't know if it's racism or fans. You know, I think he's about being a fan into politics. I think that's why all the real politicians like Romney and all them quit. You know, a lot of people say, okay, I'm retired. I can't do this. I'm not doing this type of politics. I think American politics has turned into a joke. And I think the division is preventing anything from getting done. And I think that the politicians are getting there and doing a bunch of stuff they didn't tell us they was going to do. They tell us, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that. But then they get in there, and a lot of the stuff they did, they never told us about. Even the campaign is fraudulent. Like when they had the debates and stuff, the people don't ask them the real questions. They never really get questions on what they're going to do. It's the same old, what is your policy on Iran? What is your policy on Israel? But they never ask them real solid questions about how America's going to make money. What's up with the taxes? They don't ask them no real questions. They ask them all of these political news type questions. They don't hold them to a fire. They ain't got to answer it. And they sell these politicians to the Americans because that you only vote for them because you don't like the other one. So they got us where you vote for Harris because you don't like Trump. You vote for Trump because you don't like Harris. You don't vote for neither one of them for what they're going to do. You really just voting against the other one. That's what politics turn into. I'm voting against him, so I'm voting for him. That's how people are voting. Like a popularity contest. Nobody's voting on nothing real. Everybody's voting against the person they don't like. Basically. So when election time comes, they just try to say how much bad stuff they can say about the other candidate. You know what I mean? But as far as what we really need out here and stuff like that, that's never discussed. And then they calling everybody a Democrat and a Republican. They calling everybody a group. It's like groups. Everybody's a group. They doing all groups. Everything is a group. Y'all ain't noticed that? Everything is grouped. They got a whole bunch of different names for us. They got these names. And they broke us down into names. I don't know if nobody noticed that. They broke the whole country down to names. They got like 3 names. They got Democrat, Republican, then they got the right versus the left, and then they got conservative versus liberal. Nobody's noticed it. Seriously. They got us broke down in it. Right? Look. You right, left, liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican. Which is absolutely crazy in every sense of the word. It's absolutely ridiculous. What the hell is a liberal conservative? Absolutely ridiculous. And guess what? You know what you don't have that you had? You don't have moderates. American government always ran with moderates. Moderates were the Democrats and the Republicans in the middle that believed the same thing and wanted to work out the details in the same thing. You don't have moderates. That's why the country is failing. All you got is the extremes. See, in America, for you young people, we always had moderates. And the moderates was the ones that made sure that more things got done. Because they was willing to go and tweak it till they both agree and pass stuff. But when you got extremists on both sides, nothing get done. You don't have moderates anymore. That's why the government is failing. You can't run the country without moderates. And the country is failing because the congressmen and senators and governors is garbage. Because the governors, the Congress and the Senate, they're supposed to rep the United States, but they're supposed to be trying to get something for their particular state. They're not supposed to be doing federal governing. So the governors in the farmland, they supposed to be trying to always get something for the farmers. That's why the government was made like that, so that the people in the city had a voice, and the people on the farms had a voice, and the people where they do a lot of fishing got a voice, because all these issues got to be dealt with. And they got rid of that. Do I think I should have a Thug Life shirt on for optics? I don't give a damn about optics. I'm not running for office. So King Pick, I don't care if you don't like me. If you don't like me, log off. I don't care nothing about you, bro. I don't even know you. I don't care about optics. I'm not running for office, bro. What I need with good optics. I don't need nobody to like me. I'm not running for office. Yeah, but I'm not running for office. I'm not really looking for friends. I'm just me and I'm just talking. So you said, don't be me, don't wear what I want to wear. Is that what you said? That's not America. How is that freedom and justice for all? I got to address, you know what I'm saying? Do you know what thug life means? Thug life means the hate you gave little infants fucks everyone. So it means mistreating the babies ruins the society. Did you know that? Did you know what thug life meant? That's what thug life means. What do you think about that? The hate you give little infants fucks everybody up because the infants grow up, be violent, go to prison. That's what it means. You didn't know that, huh? So it's really positive. As far as outlaw, yeah, I used to be growing ganja and now it's legal, right? Now you can go to dispensaries, right? But when I was growing, I was outlaw, wasn't I? And look how many people was outlaws. Martin Luther King went to jail, right? That means he was an outlaw, right? Rosa Parks didn't want to sit where they told her. She was an outlaw, right? She went to jail. So anytime the law is not righteous, then we be an outlaw. That's why Bob Marley, what he said. Bob Marley said what? He said, I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy. That meant I shot the sheriff, but the sheriff wasn't honoring the fact he was deputized. He wasn't upholding the law. So when you hear Eric Clapton and Bob Marley say, I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy, it meant you was a sheriff, but you wasn't upholding the law. You was a scumbag. Because when you get deputized, you swear to uphold the law. So that song is just like this hat. So when they say, I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy, it meant that you was just a scumbag. That's why I say Sheriff John Brown always hated me for what I don't know. Every time I plant a tree, he said, kill it before it grow. So yeah, you was the sheriff, but you wasn't a deputy. You wasn't upholding the law. But thug life mean the hate you gave little infants fucks everybody. Rest in peace to Tupac. So you see, King picks how I get to teach. I'm smart, bro. That's not a good way to interpret it. Thug life, that's what it really means. That's what Tupac created thug life, and that's what it really means. Tupac created thug life, and it means just what I told you. Tupac created the meaning for that. There was no such thing as thug life before Tupac. You gotta go study, bro. Thug life means show the children love and give the children good housing and grow up and put them in a good environment. Because if you don't, uh, it fucks everybody. You understand? And it's true. The hate you give to children, you get back. That's 100% true. The hate that you teach these children destroys your society. That's an absolute fact. You can't get no love if you just show the young people hate. Where the love gonna come from? When you just hate on the children and you turn your schools into places to send people to penitentiary so they can work for free as slaves. Because when they banned slavery and made slavery illegal, white America said, okay, you got rights, but we could take away your rights if you go to prison. And then they use prison for slavery. So then they get these white police and white cops and lock up as many black men as you can, and now they back in slavery. The penitentiary system in America is legalized slavery. Facts. Take away your rights and make you work for free. So anybody don't like you don't like they don't like my hat, but you ain't got no problem with having slavery still in the country. What's up with that? What's up with what's up with not liking my hat but supporting slavery? What's up with that? What's up with having a problem with my hat but still having slavery in the United States of America? Not only you don't support slavery, but you ain't speaking against it either. And you don't know none of this I'm showing you. So maybe King Picture, you should just be quiet and learn or go somewhere and teach. You got two choices. Listen to me and learn, go log in somewhere and teach. Do it better. Show me the way to do it. Show me how you gonna dress. Right? Go show me how it's done. Because I don't take advice from somebody that ain't gonna go show me. Why would I listen to you? Go show me how it's done. Come over here and let me know where your channel's at. Let me go look at your channel. I think that's fair. Show me how it's done. You don't like the way I'm doing it. Show me how it's done. What's your channel? What you got over there? Show me how it's done. Don't talk about it, be about it. If you want to criticize me, show me how it's done. You don't upload content. Okay, well, stop uploading your ideas too. Same way you shutting up on content, shut up over here. Yeah, shh, be quiet then. Yeah, you don't upload content, don't upload your mouth either. Make your mouth be just like your content, non-existent, and shut up talking to me. And this is what you do. Everybody know the deal. What do you do, y'all? Come back tomorrow. Y'all already know. Bro, come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. It's real simple. Yeah, come back tomorrow. How's that? Thug like, baby. You know what I'm saying? Now you know what it means, you know? F your click in the, you know? F your chick in the click you claim. You claim to be a player, but your wife. Yeah, it's thug life. You know what I'm saying? Brothers got a right to say something, but where I come from, don't talk about it, be about it. And if you're gonna criticize somebody that's doing some work, then you gotta go do some work. But you can't. Where I come from, you can't be no master at how something could be done and not doing nothing. So if you're gonna tell a dude that bass line not right, you're gonna have to pick the bass up and show us the right way to play it. Where I come from. But doing all this critique and ain't got nothing yourself, I don't really deal with that. You know what I'm saying? He got to learn though. I don't know, he might be young or anything. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't know what thug life even meant. See what I'm saying? So he was speaking on something with no knowledge. Because he like, thug life, that's not a good look. I'm like, do you know what it means? No. All right then. How you know if it's a good look or not? You don't even know what it means. And once I showed him what it means, instead of him just shutting up, he was still typing. Right then, he should have humbled himself and said, okay, let me listen and learn. No. You know what I'm saying? He over there, acting like his pee coming down, It's like it's that time of the month or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you got cramps. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, calm your ass down. You know what I'm saying? And it's on the internet, on the streets. That that would have went more gangster. It would have been like, don't worry about my hat, punk. See what I'm saying? That's why these dudes they don't be outside either. You know what I'm saying? They be on the internet. Like you see what I'm saying? You can't say that to nobody. You can't, bro, that hat ain't a good look. It's like talking to me ain't no good look. That's what somebody would have told me. Shut up and mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm grown. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Outside, that shit, I don't respect nothing that we don't do outside. You know what I'm saying? Also, I'm black. And y'all know how it is when we black. Hey, you talking about my hat though, right? What we do when we black? Let me see who's super black. When we put on our clothes, what's the most important thing when we black? Some of these people ain't black no more. When we black, what's the most important thing in foundational black American dress? We'll put on anything if it what? If it match. You know what I'm saying? It matches the shirt. I don't care what it say. You know what I'm saying? So these people don't even be black like that. You from Los Angeles, but if the Chicago Bear hat match your fit, then that's what you putting on. And you don't even like the Bears. You know what I'm saying? So I put this on because it matched the shirt. They could have said anything. You know what I'm saying? Any hat I would have had that was this color would have went on. I got another one, but it's a dark. It ain't this green. It's a darker green. So this one win. That's why these brothers, y'all ain't even black no more. Y'all ain't black no more. Ain't even black no more. Plus he a dude. And y'all know who we gotta look good for. We ain't trying to look good for the brothers. But that's a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to look good for his auntie. Tell his auntie I love me though. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely gonna be thug life with his auntie. You know what I'm saying? Just me and my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, how do you want it? How does it feel? All that. You know what I'm saying? This for his auntie. This ain't for him anyway. This for his auntie. You know what I'm saying? This for his auntie. I ain't got this on for him. Tell his auntie come holler at a player though. You know what I'm saying? His auntie, let me tell you something. The women in this family, they like that thug life. You know what I'm saying? They like, listen, women like angels and devils. Facts. Women like women like holy men or bad men. And what they like. And if you's a holy bad man, you's a winner. If you're a little holy and a little bad, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's all the way up. So shout out to the ladies, send in those beautiful pictures. You know what I'm saying? Looking gorgeous. Because I don't just talk about it, I be about it. I really do uh, respect the ladies. And I'll be having to talk to the ladies. You know what I'm saying? So, ladies, send in them beautiful pictures so we can post them. You understand? And we always got love for the ladies. And men always look good for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? The ladies always trying to look good for you. All right, so ladies, send in them beautiful pictures. All right, much love, ladies. Victory.